All right. Well, hey, hi, hello. It is 9:30 at night and I am sitting on our couch. All of our kids are sleeping upstairs, but my husband is at like a work shindig, and so I have some free time. I'm about to go to bed though, like right after I record this. So, anyway, how's the fall treating you? It has been unseasonably warm here in this past week, and we have like a little back. I mean, I guess not like the recent past couple days, but like the prior week. And we have had like a little cold, a back to school cold of sorts. And so the heat has just not really been that welcomed, even though I usually love summer. Yeah, and also, I know I said this before, I am just like so ready. I'm itching to move my plants around. Our plants and our garden, this did the same thing, like the season did the same thing in the fall last year. And I never got to move my garden around the way I wanted to because we had a baby, and it just got to, like, we had the baby and then it got cold and froze, and then it was time to like move things around. Everything was still thriving before I had this baby, and we just like didn't have time to do it, obviously, after. And so this year I'm itching. I'm just ready to move my plants around. I actually moved like 2 of them the other day, and then it's supposed to rain a ton here. And so I'm just like, okay, I'll move them any day now. I'm just going to start doing it, even though they're all like still living, and probably I should wait a little bit longer, but I'm doing it because I want to get them moved. And I also have a couple perennials that I'm going to plant seeds of in like the fall here so that they can go through the cold months in the ground, and so that I don't have to like cold stratify them. I don't know, we're going to test it out. I'm doing it with coneflowers and I actually forget what the other seeds that I'm doing it with. But yeah. Okay, so then I was just going to mention really quick the annuals that I'll grow next year for sure. These are my like go-to. Obviously, zinnias and cosmos are like 2 of my favorite flowers ever, and they're so easy to grow. I will grow them again and forever and a day after this. Zinnia seeds are like super easy to save. We had a really bad year this year. We had so many rabbits in our yard and gardens. They were truly menaces this year. They're horrible. And so I just will need to protect the zinnias a little bit better. We're just like, excuse me, I am yawning. It is too late. I shouldn't be recording this. Anyway, I probably will just have to plant them all in like one location and put a little like fence around them until they're grown, because when they were little, our rabbits just ate all of them this year. And so I don't have a whole lot of zinnias to save seeds from this year, which is okay. I actually think that I still have some seeds from this past year to use for next year, so that works great. And then the other annual that I'll grow next year is snapdragons. Those are gorgeous, and I totally thought they would bloom once and then kind of just die off. Like I thought they were just like a short-lived annual. Nope, they have been thriving. We started them indoors because my friend told me that they take a while to sprout, and so I started them indoors. And I don't start, although maybe I will next year, start some zinnias and cosmos indoors. We'll see. But I started the snapdragons indoors like pretty early on. It was one of the first plants that I started, and they were still really tiny when I put them in the garden. And my husband and I thought they were going to die. I was like, oh, I'm putting them in here like way too early, but we were going on vacation in June, and I was like, I just got to get them in the ground and hope for the best. They lived just fine, no problem. Just like zinnias, they like thrived once they like got past their little sprouting time, and they just kept on blooming all summer long, and they're still blooming, and it's wonderful. They're gorgeous. I will definitely plant them again. I also didn't know how bushy they would get, so our whole area of snapdragons is like very filled up. We have a lot of flowering plants going on there, which is gorgeous, but I will probably like, I even spread them out quite a bit, but I'll probably like thin them out. I didn't look up anything. I've never grown them before, and I didn't look up like anything to do with them. Like I have no idea. I probably should have pinched them off when they were younger and like all these things. I have no idea what I was doing this year. I just like let them grow. And again, I thought they were going to die, honestly. And no, they've been thriving. So I will definitely grow those again because they were super easy and they're super pretty. Look them up. Google them if you don't know what I'm talking about. And Google zinnias and cosmos if you don't know what I'm talking about. I think most people know what zinnias look like, but cosmos are super cool too, and they're gorgeous. We have these like gorgeous white ones this year, and I love them. Okay, anyway, the last plant that I will grow, annual plant that I will grow for next year, we just bought this plant at Home Depot, and I'll probably just buy it again from Home Depot. I guess I could look and see if they sell like seeds or something and start it indoors, but I'll probably just buy them again because they were for like our pots and stuff, and it's nice to like when you do your pots have actual flowers there, so I would have to start them indoors pretty early. But anyway, okay, so the plant that I'm talking about, it went into our shade garden potted areas, and I wish I would have bought more because it was a sweet, I think it was a sweet alyssum. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Alyssum? I think that's correct. A sweet alyssum, but it was a snow princess one. I'm pretty sure that's the flower that it is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I have in the side of our house right now. And it's like sort of shady. It's like sun until all the leaves fill in, and then it's shade. It's like this weird garden we have on the side, and we've had really bad luck with several different plants over there, especially annual plants in our pots over there because it stays really damp. And if it gets a rain for a couple of days, it stays damp for like 2 weeks after that. It's just like this weird side of our house that is hard to grow things, and we have a lot of hostas over there because nothing else really grows very well. And so I've had a hard time with annual plants, but we have all these potting areas in our like window. We have a windowsill planter, and then we have some planters on the edge of like a deck that are just there. Like they were there when we moved in, and they're there. It's not like pots that I can move. They're like planter type of things. Now we hopefully will build a greenhouse on this side of our house. It was a greenhouse before, and then they changed it into like a side deck, and we will put a greenhouse back. We were going to do it this year, but I don't think we will. So once that happens, we won't have those planters anymore, and so it'll be a kind of a non-issue. But I have like all these, I'll still have the windowsill planter though. And so those sweet alyssum snow princess flowers, they bloomed all summer long. Again, they're still thriving. I neglected them. I didn't water them as much as I should have. It was a drier like bout for a couple of times, and I just kind of ignored them, and then I would water them, and then they would start to thrive again. They were great. I will definitely make sure to buy those again because they was finally a plant that didn't die over there. So we really liked them, and they were very pretty. Yeah. So that's that on gardening and all that fun stuff. Now, lately I've been taking a bunch of photographs for people. Like I've been doing some photography sessions, and I've been getting a lot better with like prompting families so that you have like relaxed movement type of photos. And so it's like more fun for the kids. Toddlers are still hard. Okay, actually, it's really not toddlers themselves that are actually the hard parts of those families. It's the parents of the toddlers. Sorry, guys. That are like kind of challenging. You guys are kind of challenging. It's just because, you know, like what I want when I'm taking pictures of a toddler. So if you have toddlers and you're going to go take photographs, just worry about yourself and take the time to like look at the camera and just smile and not worry about what your toddler is doing, and like let the photographer worry about what the toddler's doing. Because we can like snap a picture really quick when they finally look at the camera or whatever. But if the parents are like, bending over to like adjust something on the toddler or like whatever, it's just a lot more distracting, and it's a lot harder to get a photo when the parents are not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're so worried about their toddler causing a ruckus and stuff. Like, I promise, I don't know, I can't speak for all photographers, but for me specifically, and I'm sure many other photographers, like, we don't care that your toddler is being a toddler. They're totally expected to be a toddler, right? You just are expected to be an adult and like smile at the camera when you need to smile at the camera, and like do what you're supposed to be doing so that we can just like quick capture the photo when we get a chance to do it. Because, like the fun photos with toddlers are fun and relatively easy. It's obviously easier with like a little bit older of a kid, but it's still like you can still do like walking photos and like all kinds of fun like movement type of photos. But the ones that are kind of harder, like the stand still and smile photos, so those are the ones I'm like specifically talking about. Like, don't worry. And also just it just heightens the stress of the session when the parents are so worried about their kids. Just relax. Like, it's fine. They're expected to be kids when we're taking photos. And honestly, like I want them to be, because then it makes for like good photos, right? And like fun photos that actually represent your family. So yeah, if you take digital photography yourself, I know everybody like wonders what presets everyone else uses, so I'll just mention mine here. I love and use I don't know how to pronounce it, Beba Vowels, maybe is how you pronounce it, Beba Vowels presets, and I use pack 3. And my go-to preset is number 2 from that third pack, and I will like edit it from there in Lightroom. But number 2 of that third pack of Beba Vowels is my go-to preset. Yeah, and I shoot on a 28 millimeter. Weird, I know. Most people use a 35 millimeter. And honestly, I probably would have bought that, but I got a 28 when we had like tiny little humans because they were always so close to me, and somebody recommended it, and I've never looked back. I honestly really, really like my 28. But I would love to one day get myself a new camera, and I would probably go with a 35 millimeter lens when that day comes. So one day. I'd also love to get a film camera. So if you have a beginner favorite, please send it my way. I guess I should say I'm a beginner film photographer, but I shoot in manual, and so I'm like comfortable around a camera. I just have never shot like a manual film camera before. So yeah, send my way the recommendation, not the camera, but I mean, feel free to send the camera my way too. Okay. Moving on. School pictures, since we're talking about pictures. School pictures. Guys, we have 3 kids in school this year, and their picture prices are ridiculous. Like, an entire yearbook is cheaper than a single photo. It's ridiculous. I was like, I'm paying $100 just to get 3 digital photos. Like, that's silly. And you guys don't even try to make the photos look good. Like, they're so bad. Anyway, I'm like, why am I paying for this? Because I just want like the iconic school picture, I should just take my own. But I probably could have paid $100 and gotten that like some sort of similar blue crappy backdrop and taken my own school pictures from now on out. But here I was paying for the picture. Anyway, whatever. Last week, I'm gonna be done here because I feel like I'm talking for too long. I get carried away when I talk about the garden now, because that's who I am now. I don't know. Okay. Last week I did an episode on children's books and like our children's book rotation system, which, guys, I hate. If you listen to it, I don't like rotating things in my house. The only thing we rotate is books. But I realized I forgot to mention one of our favorites. It is a month-by-month book. I don't really know how to describe it. But, excuse me again. I am going to shout out this book in the newsletter coming up on Monday, but I'll link to it in the show notes here too. But we were gifted it, and it's so stinking cute. Each month, the author like personifies a related item. So like a raindrop in the spring, or like an acorn in the fall, or something like that. Or it does like animals. And then I actually don't know who the author is. So I'm like talking off the top of my head, so I don't know if it's a he or she. But they describe its life cycle, like the object's life cycle, like the life cycle of a raindrop, or the life cycle of an acorn, and how it turns into a tree and then drops more acorns and all that stuff. They describe it in like this cute little story poem. They're so cute, all of them. They're great. I love reading them. The kids look forward to them each month, and I do too. Okay, so I'm going to shout that book out. It is called, oh my gosh, I don't even know what it's called. I'm doing a really bad shout out, but I'm going to link to it. Yeah, man, I'm going to link to it, and I'll put pictures up. But okay, speaking of books, I just finished Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. That's her name. Claire Leslie Hall. And I really enjoyed it. It was not like my usual genre. I guess I don't even really know what I would call this genre, but it was like suspensive. Wow, what is the word I'm looking for? Suspense. Is that the right word? That sounds so wrong. What is it? What is the word? Anyway, it was like on the edge of your seat, right? But like in a gentle way. Like I like wanted to know what was going to happen next, but not like a action-packed kind of way. It was like just a regular story about people's lives. And it was a real tearjerker, man. I actually cried at the end of this book, and I do not cry very easily. So I actually had tears streaming down my cheeks. It was like quite an ending. And yeah, it's just not my usual genre sort of thing. But I guess it did kind of resemble like a historical fiction kind of novel, which is my genre. So I don't know. It actually, maybe that's what it is. I honestly have no idea like what this genre would be aside from fiction, but it was really good, and I would recommend it. It was great read. I read it for a book club that we like pretend to have but don't actually have very often. Anyway, yeah. Oh, before I go, those snack containers I talked about the last Alright WELP episode, that I kind of regretted saying that I didn't regret anything. I like them, and I said I didn't regret buying them, but I just realized they weren't really going to be appropriate for a couple of our nights of the week. And so the reason I bought them was to like use them every day after school. Like, this is your healthy snack. I was like, this is too much work, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyway, we use them during this warm week as like mini picnic lunches, and it fit like a whole lunch in it, almost like perfect size for like a mini lunch, for the picnic that I packed in like a little lunchbox, like a little, I don't know, canvas type of lunchbox, and they all fit in there perfectly, and it was great. Yeah. Oh, and I've been packing our daughter's snack in it. She has to take a snack to school. The other kids get snack in their classes, but yeah, our one daughter has to like bring her own, and so we've been packing her snack in that container, and it doubled as those mini picnic lunches, which was great. So they came in handy. Before I go, this is your friendly reminder to get on top of your Halloween costumes. I have that written down to like make sure that I tell everybody here on this podcast episode. So get on top of it. Think of your idea. Go buy the costume if you need to, or like come up with it, because it is already that time. You got to start thinking about it, because as soon as you know it, it's Halloween, and then it's Christmas. Okay. Next week, I have an episode on meal planning and like what my favorite types of meals to cook are. Hint, hint. I am not a chef, nor do I put cooking or meal planning at the top of my fun list. They would definitely be closer to the bottom. So if I can make these foods, you certainly can too. So listen in next week if you want to hear about my super awesome meal planning vibes and like the categories of meals, I guess is kind of what I'm going to be talking about the most. And then after that, we're going to be like talking Christmas and holiday season, y'all. It is. We're there. Yep. Unashamedly, I love Christmas. So here we are. And yeah, we decorate the day after Halloween. Well, as long as I can get the bins down myself, because my husband refuses to help because he thinks it's too early. No, he would help, but he does moan and groan about it. He's like, Halloween was yesterday, Tosh. And I'm like, yes, I know. I should have had this up a month ago. Love Christmas. Okay, that's it. Now I'm really going to go and let you go. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Drink water, eat snacks. Take care. Tosh.